Hello everybody, this is Theo Cedar Jones on May 22nd, 2014, now May 23rd, I believe, and this is part of a series called The Retooling of Christianity, and today we're going to address the Golden Rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This is one of the keystones of Christianity, and I'm going to be a helpful friend to Christians and say that this is one of the things you need to retool, because the Golden Rule hasn't worked. It's not enough. And in fact, based on the wisdom about the ego, the Golden Rule is actually counterproductive. Why is that? Because it does not account for the core fault. It does not account for the self-contraction and the problem of ego. It does not account for the stave in the wheels. And here's why. One of the principal qualities of the ego is that it's in a constant flight from life, this lifetime, mortal experience, the mortal grind. And ego has both a death wish for itself. It wants to commit suicide. It wants to be freed from this physical plane somehow. And it also wants to kill everybody else. And there's a dual impulse in all egos. One is towards mass self-destruction, and the other is towards suicide. And so, if you applied the logic of the Golden Rule to a circumstance of an earth world filled with people acting the ego, then you would basically be saying, do unto me, or I'll do unto others as you would have them do unto myself. Then I would do unto others, basically, suicide and mass self-destruction, and then they would do suicide and mass self-destruction on me, because what you would really have for yourself is suicide. So if you apply the Golden Rule, then what you would want for others is suicide. And that's not a positive thing, and in fact that's the situation we're in a sense. The Golden Rule is being applied in a negative way. People are doing unto others as they would have others do unto them, but sadly what their unconscious or semi-conscious impulse really is suicide and mass self-destruction. So the Golden Rule breaks down completely, in fact, is counterproductive if it's applied outside of the context of the wisdom about the ego and Adida's presence in person that can actually relieve people of the activity of being ego. So now we have to ask Christians to once again get with the teaching of Adida and consider that you have to account for your own act of egoity and apply the wisdom of Adida to your circumstance thoroughly and to the ultimate degree, to the point of awakening from your own act of egoity. And then you'll have the capacity for the true reception of Christ, the true understanding of God, and a capacity to stop obstructing God and inventing suffering via the activity of self-contraction and the presumption of separateness and the constant and perpetual objectification through thought and the self-contracted heart of all the universe. Everything is an object, you're an object, everything is dying, and life is a perpetual grind of invented suffering until you wake up. So Christians, you need to awaken from your ego. The great Satan is your ego. All of Christianity, all of ego culture as we know it today, with a few rare exceptions, is ego-bound and therefore satanic, if you like. My understanding of Satan at this point is that, as I said in my previous blog about David Icke and the reptilians is that Satan is an externalized, objectified form of ultimate evil outside yourself. And the belief in that in any form is sheer and pure ego. And ultimately it's a way of distancing your own sense of responsibility for the fact that you are responsible for your active egoity. You are responsible for being the source point of evil. Ego is the source point of evil. Ego in aggregate as a social phenomenon is mass evil, like we just see erupting into warfare all the time, and the abuse of children. So I think that concludes this chapter on the retooling of Christianity. The golden rule is not enough. You need to apply the ego-transcending wisdom of Adida to your circumstance as a Christian in order to apply the golden rule in the right way, which is not from an egoic standpoint. Because if you apply the golden rule from an egoic standpoint, you will ask others to do unto you as you would do unto them. No. You would do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But if you are suicidal ego and a mass murderer ego, then you would have them do unto you, you would do unto them mass murder and suicide. You would want them to commit suicide and you'd want to murder them. And you'd want them to murder you and you'd want to commit suicide. And that's the mood of the ego, one of the principal moods of ego. Self-immolation as escape. And mutual assured destruction as escape from the fuckedness of relationships. So that was a little rambling, but I hope you liked it. Meant with love.